Oh, I didn't set up the music yet. Give me a second. Sorry. I need to work it out so I can do this automatically because I forgot. Give me a moment. And now hopefully you can hear that. I can't hear a thing. Oh, damn it. Alright, give me a minute, I'll be back. Oh no, it is working. Is it? It is, okay, okay. Yes, it is. Sorry, ignore me. Okay, so let's switch over to the right screen. Now I've figured that junk out. So, I have this picture. It's just an old render of an old project of mine. I have a vague concept of what I want to do. And basically, I want to grab random pixels, starting from lower, moving to higher, and drag them down into frame. That's basically the outline of what I want to do. So, I assume it's going to be geometry nodes. I've done nothing so far except set up the image and the camera to be aligned. So basically, I want to start up here, eventually get down here, and do that by being dragged pixel by pixel pretty much. So let's do that. First off, we will need a subdivide. Sorry, I'm ticking like crazy today. Tourette's is a pain. Okay, let me actually see this. Actually, before I do that, I want to put that in. It's not square, but it's more square, and that'll just help. Let's go with that and see how it looks. Okay, so we have that. Now we want set position. Now, actually, let me do this twice. First off, whoops, nope. Why is that on Y? That's odd. I mean, that's definitely Z. Oh, I bet that doesn't have rotation applied. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, done now. Okay, so, yeah. Basically, by the end, this needs to be a meter down. So we start off here, and then pretty much what I want to do, I'm guessing I want to, I think I want to try using the selection and use a combination of vertical on Z and a noise texture to grab them and drag them into that position. Because I can set the position on Z by time, or by frame, so yeah, let's try for that. Okay, let's do this. Greater than or equal. No, less than or equal. Yes. So if I do this, that is what I want it to do. Okay, that's proof of concept that will theoretically work. So 1 point. I'm just going to do it manually. If I was going to set this up properly, I would have it so that rather than setting the position like this, I would check the position with bounding box, and then you could just plug any image in and do the same thing automatically. Whereas for this, I'm just going to do it this way because I want to just do it for one picture first, and then we'll see what happens later. So we have that. Alright, let's just put that... Yeah, let's put that there for now. I quite like this one, actually. It turned out a very pretty picture. I didn't end up using this colouring for the actual scene, and I've remade the entire thing since then. But it was a really nice copper, and it had really nice reflections and refractions. And that skirt took me ages to make. But anyway, different projects. Today that's just a placeholder image because I wanted something pretty to work on while I did this. So let's get back to this. Sorry. Good damn. Okay. Alright, let's select that. Yeah, because basically what you would do is you'd set a map range here, and then take the max of the bounding box Z, and plug that into the max of the input map range, and then the output to 0 and 1, and then whatever this is just a position between 0 and 1, no matter how big or small the image is. But I can do that later. Okay, so we have that, and then we can have our noise texture. Okay, I think I know how I'm going to do this. I think. So if we get our viewer up... Sorry. If we get our viewer up here, and we turn this back on. Actually, let's view it from here before we actually do all that junk. Yeah, so you can see that. And basically, what we want is darker than a particular thing. And maybe a random as well. I'm not sure. I mean, you can chuck detail and roughness up, but that doesn't help us that much. Because I don't... Of course that doesn't work with colour, god damn it. What if I just do that instead? No, same thing. Okay, that's fine. Because I don't want it to be pulling these down in just like one big line across. And currently that's what it'll be doing. So how do we best fix that? Because I mean, I can, rather than describe it, I can just show you. Hang on, let me turn that off. I mean, it's not a terrible look. I mean, maybe it's good enough. Maybe. Okay, let me look at this again. And we go and plug that in there. Alright, let's say 0. So if we put this in, yeah, none of it moves. Great. And let's just go for frame 100 because it's a nice number to work with. Alright. Sorry. Sorry. It's been a rough day, my ticks are rubbish. Okay, what was the max I said was 1.6? Oh, that's not great. Okay. So, we have a slight issue. Right, we don't want this and. We don't want that to be and. We want this. I mean, that might be an interesting look, but it's not going to be what we want. If I turn that off. I mean, it successfully tears the image down, but it doesn't really reconstruct it properly. Because the ones that are darker than this are always going to be darker. So if I put this back up here, whoops. Why on earth is that noise texture doing that? That's strange. Oh, is it? Oh, it's because there was no no subtips. That's why. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's. Sorry. Tourette streams. They're great fun on bad days. Yeah. So I've disconnected it. You won't see anything. Yeah. So I don't want this. What I want to do actually is multiply this with this. That's still not quite what I want, but it'll give me a starting point. All right, let's go. Because if I do, oops, if I do, because I'm setting it from here, and that kind of is limiting. Might work though. Alright, let's just try. It's not going to be multiply, is it? Pardon me, no. Yeah, this is not going to work. No, that does nothing. Okay, do I need to flip that? Because or won't work. Because or means that the ones that are dark from the noise already start down. Oh! No, hang on. What if I do... Okay, so if I do and doesn't start working until the bottom because none of the... This is very frustrating. Okay. Okay, so the initial delay is because this is... I should do the map range. Because it's not actually getting to the bottom of the picture until frame 35. And like I could manually just keyframe that in, but then if I change anything, it's going to break. Like I could just tell it to start at 35 here. No, sorry. At this number, I could just come back here and keyframe that in. And then it's going to start there, in theory. Or it's not. Okay, that's curious. Okay, well let's map range this anyway. Now, what I did describe earlier, I may do now. So let's get object info. No. No, I don't need that. Bounding box. I'm just going to move all of this up here. Call that selection. And then we'll get the bounding box here. So if I go separate and separate. Do you give us numbers? Because that would be really handy. You do. Oh, that's overall position, isn't it? Right. Because that's not the position of the pixels, it's the position of the entire thing. But I mean, it is giving us height. That's not helping though, is it? No. Okay. Oh, it is though. No, it is. Oh, okay. I wasn't completely insane. It was doing the thing I thought it was. Fantastic. Okay. So, I just didn't recognize that it was because it seemed too convenient. Okay, so if we plug in from min to max. Oh, no, that is not right. Because it's taking us from 0, which is correct. But then it stops at 1.5 halfway up. Which is odd. Okay. Oh. When did I plug that into the wrong one? Okay, that was it. I just plugged... I couldn't figure out why that was wrong. It's because I plugged it in incorrectly. Alright, so now it does go very neatly from 0 to 1. Lovely. And that doesn't fix our main problem, but that does mean that if we just set it on position, if we just do that and turn the viewer off, it should, yeah, and it still takes a second, but that's because the very first rows are black. So it is starting before this point. If we put this on, you can see it's already started. It just doesn't reach it. It doesn't reach the actual image for a while. Yeah, so that is doing what I want it to do. Great. Now the next part, because like that's vaguely interesting, I guess, but it's not like that interesting. So I want, because if I get that up, because if I do that, you can see the whites, like the black gets white, so that is doing it correctly. But what I need it to do, I mean, I could just add another layer, because we have this, right? So as the time goes, the pure black goes up and leaves us with the black and white mix. But what I want, when it gets to say the black is at this height, then I want this section to become all white. Like I want the remaining black to fade out as it goes up. Sorry. I should tag this Tourette stream. I mean, I could do that by just... I could do it by just amending the noise texture, but I don't want to, because I want it to be gradual. So how about we get another one of these. Let me just neaten this up a little bit. And if I plug this in, does it break? Yes, okay. That's fine. Okay, so if we take so basically what I want is I want this. I want this to... No, that's... Oh my god, I plugged it in wrong again. Okay. I plugged it in wrong a third time. Okay, I think we're good now. So this and this are identical. Fantastic. And now, this one, because currently it goes from black to white, and that's what we want. What I want for this one is to go white to black, and I want to keyframe that a bit later than this one. So, hang on, let me turn the numbers off, because we have colours, we can see. So, they both start at nothing. Oh, that's fine. So say when that gets to there, maybe? We'll say, actually let me turn auto keying on. Oh, okay. Set that to 0 there. And then arbitrarily 1.6 there. So okay. How do I incorporate this? Because this gives us that. If I just do another and, yeah, that's not what I want. Because that just gives us that, and that is not what we're going for. So we want the entire thing to become white by the end. Do I just invert that? Is that what I want to do? It does not feel right, but let's try it anyway, frankly, because why not? I can't imagine that's going to work. So you have this one, the white goes up. This one, black comes up. I mean, this is not right, is it? This one, the black reveals it. Yeah, that's not right. That's not what we want. Oh. I am missing something very obvious and it's frustrating me. Am I? Or does it work now? Oh, it works now. Okay. Maybe I should have just checked earlier. But no, it's not working. I haven't connected it yet. Okay. What's working now is just the position without any of the noise stuff. So that's what I had. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Let me connect that in. Get rid of that again. That gets us that. Which drags down. It does drag by position and noise, but it leaves behind the noise bits. And this, I cannot I keep doing that. That's frustrating. This, I cannot imagine is going to fix anything. No, in fact, it makes it completely worse. Okay, yeah. This thing was a mistake. It does not work that way. I mean, I can just mix it. Or I can manually keyframe this to be darker. I mean, that feels like a really weak way of doing it, but... Because because I don't want it to get to like here and then all of a sudden be like, oh, okay, I'll do all of them now. Because if I change this colour here, it will affect more or less of it. But I don't want it to sort of do all of them at once. Like, I don't mind that on its own, but it's really not what I want it to be. I want it to pick them and drag them down as it goes up. Well, actually, what if I combine it there instead? That might work. Because like it's moving everything pardon me, darker than this arbitrary shade of light grey, right? But so this, if we come back here, oh sorry, if we come back here, doesn't, oh right, subdivide, that doesn't make anything darker. Okay, let's, no, not what I want to do. No, that's the key. So if because this gives us a oops, why is there two of them? Because this gives us a Boolean result, right? It doesn't really give us a usable colour, not an easily usable one. So what I might try is, because if I change this, it does basically the same thing. So if at, because it's everything darker than that. So if this starts off, I'm just going to do these numbers fully arbitrarily for now. Yeah, and then, oh, how low does that have to be to get all of them? Oh, that's not great. I don't really want to do it that way. Okay, I don't want to drag this down to like 100. If I put this at -10 and -9, and then this at 1. Okay, it's way too fast. Okay. Let me get this. Okay, just delete those. That's closer, I think. Because by the end of that, everything is black, and that is what we want. Okay. So if I do next color, set that to multiply. If I do that and that, It's not ideal, but let's see. So if I do that instead, get rid of that. Let's see if this works at all. Oops. Oh, damn. No, okay. Potentially, if I were to just change... So what? Oh, that's just a note that can go away. What does it do if I change that? Is that... So it's starting to approach what I wanted to do, but it's not really doing it yet. So if we watch it for this, yeah, it starts off way too bright for way too long. But at the end, it does do what I want it to. Okay. So... okay, what's that? Roughly 0.65 and 0. Let's just plug these in here. 0.65, oops, 0.65 and 0. Okay, at the end it's not quite right, but... that might be doing what I want it to. Okay, let's turn that off. That's not really what I'm looking for, no. But we are approaching something potentially. Let's just get this back up here again. Is it just because it's an overlay, not a multiply? I mean, I can always multiply that to make the effect stronger. Because at this stage, you'd think half of it's black, but none of it started moving yet. Oh, that's... yeah, none of it starts until this point. So is that just this being wrong? Or is it the position being a pain? Do I even need the position? I shouldn't, right? Is that what's ruining it for me? That I'm still using the position? Because I'm using the position in the first half now. Alright, let's try that. Maybe that's what it is. Using both positions. I think it was. I don't like at the end how the last few of them like get dragged down. Yeah, you can sort of see in that frame there's a bunch. But okay. Alright, this is something, I think. This is something. Yeah, so we don't need these ones. These ones are messing us up now. Because it's all being done before it gets to that point. I do worry that the darker thing is going to be the issue though. So now we don't have that minus position. Because I don't love, I mean, if I set that, well, let me put, I turned auto keying off, that was a silly decision. Yeah, this is not quite what I not quite what I was intending. For everything to come down the last second. Not quite what I was going for. So what are we actually seeing when that happens? Oh yeah, that first half is super slow. Okay. I'm wondering if it's because that bounding box is moving, but it shouldn't be, because it's taking the position from back here. So the bounding box shouldn't have changed any. Unless it has changed. I mean, the bounding box definitely has changed. Maybe that's doing it? But it shouldn't, because it's inputting from so much earlier. Well, one node earlier, but still. There's only 3 active, like, action-taking nodes, so that should be fine. Okay. What if... I'm going to leave this one here untouched for now, because if I want it again, I want to just have it be there already. So if I just have this set 1 and 0. Okay, multiply doesn't work because what I want. Oh, maybe. Hang on. If I set the value by this one. No, this way doesn't work. If I set. No, that's also not what I want. The value is not it. Because my default is always just multiply. But multiply won't make it brighter. I mean, it will, but that scaling is way off. Okay, well, what if I do this? Yeah, that doesn't fix the scaling. It still leaves us with this annoying little bit at the top and bottom sections. It comes, so going from... Yeah, I mean... Mostly why it gets us like 13 to negative 13. And that last little section is like another 130. So... Oh, this is frustrating. I mean, maybe it's not helped because that that grey is so arbitrary. So maybe I should change that. Because this is 0 to 1, and you can see it's not in the middle at all. So I want... Well, I want that at the end, right? No, darker than. So I want that at the start. Okay, let's just... This is what I just did, but let's try it anyway. Let's just say 20. And 8. And then this one, just put that there. Yeah, okay, that's not going to work. So let's do this at 4. And then move this way over here. So if I come to 50, I want that like halfway, right? Alright, let's get rid of that one. Okay. So actually, so that's 0. So it has to start off lighter. I'm just going to do this by eye. Okay, it never gets to completely 0. Let's set that there, and we have to use this briefly. Okay, let's set that there, and then at the end, let's set this, okay, both to 0, and then I'm just going to come here. That's going to have to be 0 at some point. Okay, that can be 0 at this point, maybe. Okay, so that way. Oh. No. Okay. You go to 0 at that point. And now at 50, I'm just going to say I want that line to be halfway up-ish. Oh, I broke it. Okay, that's fine. Let's get rid of this one. Hello, baby. Okay. It's so painfully non-linear. I'm not a fan. Okay, let's just put that there. And let's just put that there. Okay. Yeah, I really need to reconfigure the position on Z because that's not functional. So if I play this, I mean, kind of, but not really. It's sort of giving the impression of what I want, but it's not doing it how I want it to. All of this messing around with keyframes is not the way to do this. Because if I just look at that, I mean, instead of all this messing around with the to and from max, what I could do, theoretically, so I want it to finish darker, right? So if I start at I start at 1 and I end at -1. Like, that's what I want, right? That's what I'm trying to get with this stupid setup. So if I do that now... Oh, it's still not very even at all, is it? Oh, that's the wrong one connected. Hang on. Let me see if this works better. Okay. It kind of does. Multiply is not the thing, though. Oh, that's better. Maybe. Okay, let's see that. Let's see what that's doing. Oh. So that's kind of cool, but again, not what I actually wanted. I do like the way it draws it from the top, though. Like, it's kind of neat. I mean, I could use that for an intro screen, to be honest. Okay. Draws in from top. I'm going to save that because it's interesting even if it's wrong. So if I now say, make it darker than that. I mean, that just makes it faster. Right, okay. And again, the issue is... that I wanted it to draw from the bottom. So it's saying dark... Oh yeah, darker than that, of course. Okay, hang on. Oh, right. Everything is brighter. Oh, I've just done this backwards. Let me just do this quickly, just to see if I have, in fact, just done this backwards. Rather than redoing those keyframes. Oh. Okay, so let's pretend we're starting from frame 45. No, that is not correct. That is more like what I was thinking of. We are getting closer. I do really like that effect. Okay, so what are we doing wrong? It only starts when we get to halfway. Was adding it better or worse? Oh right, adding it makes it... okay. Right, so this does need to be subtraction. So if we just go here instead. Okay, I think that might be what I want actually. We are missing bits though. When we get to the very end, there's still chunks up, even though this should be right. I'm guessing. Yeah, there are still bits. Okay. Does that just need to be down a little bit more? Okay, let's try that. Okay, I don't hate that. I don't hate it. If I throw this up a level, how does that look? I mean, better. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, I quite like that. This was messy. Let me just save incremental while I'm pleased. Get rid of that, get rid of that, don't need those. I mean, we can change the effect a number of ways. So let me, I mean, it's basically finished by 80 with this setup though, is the thing. Is that changed by the number of subdivs? Yes, okay. So by that point, all of them are done. So this is the magic number. So let's find this, get to this, plug that in instead. We still have one left, god damn it, okay. Okay, that's the new magic number. I'm pretty happy with that, I think. It's a very nice effect. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Let's just neaten this up a little bit. No. No, 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 don't tell me that. Okay. If I set this to 1... No, okay, it does have to be connected, so if I do that... Sorry, I want to make this proper, so I want to see if there's anything I can do with it. Oh, it's because this is still slightly a gradient. Is that what it is? I bet it is. Huh, that's fun. Yeah, because if we plug this in here, and I change this, you can actually see the gradient moving up it. But if I just plug in any colour here, it just goes all the way. So yeah, this is still slightly gradiented. So that's cool. So you can also control the pace from there. But thankfully we do still need the work I did, so that's nice. So See, it looks like it's finished there, but if I turn this off, it has finished there. Oh, is it because I changed the subdivs again? No. Apparently now it finishes that early? Huh. What on earth did I change? I have no clue what I did. I must have changed something. Because didn't this have to be a 225 to stop that happening? Okay, well let's... do that and set that there. Okay, nice. So, we want... this was 1, and this we will do group input, and this we will name move image to start pause. That will do, and then we will duplicate that over here. Multiply by -1 and combine on Z. Okay. Now we have options. Because I'm trying to think of how I can make this the most usable. I'm happy enough with this in general. I quite like how that looks and works. But I'm thinking in terms of future usability, because this will make it start higher and lower on Z, right? That's all this does. Like, we can make it start at the bottom, for instance, and then it draws itself up, and you can't really tell what it is because everything's moving from the bottom still. So that's not a great idea to implement. Okay. But what if I wanted it to come in from the side? Right? So... well, no, before that, I'm moving it 1. But that, I think, only works because of the image size? There you go, let me check. If I make this smaller, and I apply the scale, and I hide this one, oh no, because it's dependent on the window, right? So moving it off screen is not going to be a thing I can do here, because it depends on how far and near your camera is. Okay, I can't do that. That's fine. But either way, it will end up back where it was. It just travels a lot further when it's tiny. But you could easily adjust that. Okay. Yeah, because like if I... Yeah. You can play with that. Okay. Okay, that's that. Yeah, I can't. Oops. I can't set its position because that's just dependent on the camera. And I don't really want to get involved with moving the camera in this. I don't believe you can just like add a camera in GeoNodes directly. That would be a scripting thing for my scripting friend. Which would not be difficult because a camera is just an object and you can use GeoNodes to add objects that, so you can use code to add objects in GeoNodes that aren't accessible directly in GeoNodes. So you could definitely do that. Maybe I should look into Python and figure out how to do that myself. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I've looked at Python briefly a long time ago, but not recently. Sorry, I just need to check something. Don't mind me. Ouch. Okay. What was I doing? I completely lost myself. Right. Switching where it comes into. So basically what I want is this to be vector. Oh, do I really need this setup? It's gonna be a pain, but let's try it anyway. Well, it won't be X because X is towards the camera. Well, in my setup. Right, let's just do this. X, Y, and then Oh, this is going to be a pain. Okay. That should be 0. That should be 0. That should be that. That is that directly. That should be that. That should be that. Oh yeah, true is on X. Okay, that's correct. That is working the way I think it should. But setting up the switches. Okay. This one's easy enough. This one, we just set up and say Z. This is not correct. Oh, I know, I can just use ands and things. Okay. Right, we don't want the grouping for going there. What we want is... No, we want compare. And we want this to be an integer. Z, Y, X. And this integer is 1, 2, 3. So if the float is... if group input XYZ is equal to... what are we saying? Single value. Yeah, so 1 is Z. So 1 should switch that to be true. This is an nope, integer 1. Okay. And then if that's 2, if that is equal to 2, if it's equal to 3, switch it. I think that works. Because in this case I need to move it further away. Well, I need to change the other half as well, but I think my setup does work. I think it does work. It gets us... yeah. I'm happy with that, because... oops, good damn. Because that does get us the correct combination of gates. So that, yeah. Okay. Okay. 1 second, I have a question to answer on Discord. How to rotate each index individually? Manual version, use selection. Use locate, instances, and selection to selection. Oh my god, I can't. To rotate just one, we use locate instances and selection to select by index. Index into compare mode to selection. What do you mean? Okay. I want to rotate all by specified offset. Specified offset. Oh, okay. So, Ooh. I've done spiral stairs, but not by index. But yeah. I imagine I repeat zone input index into the zone. Hello. Oh, well, if you're here, there'll be a slight delay, but I'll just say it. I imagine it'll be a repeat zone, which I'm not great at, but if you get repeat zone, bring your geo in here, and then index, do your thing, but like add 1 to the index, and then like put the iterations up to however big, then it should add 1 to the index every time it repeats. So that may help, because this will get you index, and then the next time, like, well, this will get you index plus 1. So I probably should do a subtract 1 first, so your indexes are real. So that way, and then that way, and then yeah, that's not quite what you want though, is it? I mean, you could rather than doing that, what you could just do is say nope, rotate instances, and do index. So obviously you have your group input and stuff over here, and use the index as a multiplication. If you get your combine x, y, z, rotate them all by rotate them all by I mean, is it easy to start in degrees and go to radians, or stop in radians and go to degrees? I'm not sure. But you can use the 2 degrees node if you need to. But probably I would like. Oh, I mean, multiplying doesn't really work, but some variation of that. Well, yeah, you can define pi. Yeah. Like, you can literally just write pi. So you can play with pi and things. Yep, Tao's in there too. And I'm sure loads more that I'm not even aware of. But I would probably... I would probably figure out what portion of the rotation you want the difference to be, and use your index to define that. So you're basically, your rotation in degrees is 12 plus 1 on Z. I have no idea if that'll actually work, I just kind of imagine it will. Give me a second. I really should save before I start messing this up, in case I break everything I've done. And then instance on points, more points, cube of 0.2. Is that kind of what you meant? Because I mean, the index is going up, so you can see it's sequential. Because if you follow along, if I get the indexes, if I get this up here, and I turn, oh, it won't now. But if I do that from points, nope. If I do that from grid points, you can sort of see how the sequence goes. So that might do what you want. Like it's a quick and dirty way of doing it, obviously. But roughly speaking, that setup, without any repeat zones, because I don't understand them, that setup, you can define the degree of change, because you can always divide this. So you can have that affected as well. Yeah. That's probably what I do. It gets you some decent looking results. Because if you add nothing, that's what you get. Because that's just adding basically 1 degree of rotation. Like, that's not 1 degree, it's way more than 1 degree of rotation. But yeah, I'm not sure on the particular numbers, but it gets you something. And it is consistent. So if I get this, if I divide by 2, oh look, you can get some really cool effects. But yeah, that's real fun. I like that. Now an issue where there's loads at the top and bottom. How do you mean there's loads at the top and bottom? Are you multiplying rather than adding, maybe? Not sure. But yeah, so that you should, like, you know enough that you should be able to get that to do what you want it to do. If not, feel free to come back. Yeah, loads at top bottom. Do you mean loads of rotations or load of instances? I'm not sure. Oh, there's a picture coming to me. Give me a moment. Oh, you do have loads at top and bottom. Okay. Can you just send me your geonodes that you've done so far? Because that's not instancing on points. Okay, let me have a look at this. Subdivide mesh. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at geonode setup. If you add that is bizarre. If you add a merge by distance immediately after your subdivide mesh, does that fix it? I'm guessing the spiral is your input geometry. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so the spiral is just aesthetics. Yeah, did the merge by distance help any? Adding it after the subdivide? I'm not sure why a mesh. Oh, good. I'm not sure why a mesh line has that many at the very end, unless there's some weird stuff going on in the original mesh. But yeah, that's odd. Because if that's just a mesh line with like 2 points, it's bizarre. I need to be able to adjust the angle in between each. How do you mean? Do you mean like how far they're rotating? Give me a second. Alright. Okay. Alright, let's just do... Actually, why am I doing this? Let's just get a plane. And let's just look at this plane and hide this. And just do a new one. Okay, so we want a mesh line. With the count of 2. Sorry, let me get your thing up. Subdivide, match. 5 times. Instance on points. We're instancing a plane, okay. Well, I'm just going to instance another mesh line, because that's easier for me than making another... Whoops. I say that, but I can't even do it. Mesh line. Let's do that. And 2 and 0 and about that big. And then actually, yeah, you don't even need the rotate instances node. That's just if you're doing the selection, but you don't need the selection. So we go index, add. Yeah, so if we're adding nothing, then you don't even need that. Combine X, Y, Z. Plug that in there. Plug that in there. It is weirdly distributed, isn't it? Okay. Alright. Wait, make a new plane. Yeah. 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 Extrude up. Yeah, that's fine. That inherently should not add the weird issue that you had. I would do it within geonodes just because I like avoiding extra objects. But that process there, like, that's only 2 verts. This gives you an identical result to this. Because this is just a mesh line with a vert at the top and the bottom defined by these numbers. And that is exactly the same as this, except I dragged it with the mouse rather than just typing 1. Like, that's... yeah. Yeah. That method is completely fine. Yeah, I do it within this just because I like not having an extra object that I can delete and rename and put in the wrong, like, in the wrong collection and lose when the file gets out of hand drastically 7 hours later. But that, yeah, doing it that way is yeah, entirely fine. Yeah, so if I just look at this, well, it does get a bit fucky because it's counting 1 and 0 as those two. Okay. So you do have, I think that's why the rotation's weird at the top. If I look at this, how the rotation at the top is only adding a little teeny bit and it's not following the pattern of the rest of them. Yep, I just got an update on Discord. Hang on. Oh no, she figured it out. But yeah, so what I would do there is instead of subdividing first, I would change the count here. So if we're doing by 5, make that 20 and then get rid of the subdiv. And then just make that 0.1. That evens it out. And then... I mean, that's quite pretty. I mean, just making it a divide gives you what you're looking for, I think. In that it gets you a nice spiral. The amount you divide by. So like if I put this up here and put this at 0.01. There you go. You can see it quite clearly. So that's fun. But yeah. That's a way of doing it. But I'm glad you figured it out. I'm going to go back to this. Now if I set this back to Z, if you're still here, you can see what I've been doing. I'm just making a cool thing because I felt like it. I think it's pretty. Yeah, it's just an old render from the Sea Creature project. Briefly, he had copper skin, but I like the effect. Took me longer than it should to get right, but now I'm just setting up in GeoNodes, which I'm partway through, because currently it moves on Z by default. It always goes from top to bottom, and like draws from the bottom, draws at the bottom, pulling from the top. And I want to put a switcher in, so it can draw from the sides. So I've done so far this little setup. So depending on what number you put in, is what axis it moves in. Although I do need to set that up over here as well. And I just need to rejig these the same way. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to use... What am I going to use for that? I'm not even sure. Honestly, groups. I think it's going to be groups. Because I want to input a value. I want to do all of this stuff. And I want to end up with a vector. So if I do that, you can both have the same one. So now, if I copy that, and that, and I do that to X, that to these two, and that, does that work? Believe it or not, that works. Actually, it's kind of cool. I need to make it move further, but I quite like that. Alright, let's because I don't think I can set the start position automatically, because it depends on where the camera is. I was actually going to ask you how difficult it would be to write a script that builds a camera that aligns itself to an image you've placed. I know it's possible because like F-Spy kind of does it. But like, so this is just a plain like an image mesh, right? But I add it, gotta add another camera and then line the camera up, and like I know you can just align this perfectly and then just like it only takes a few seconds. But it'd be really handy if I just had a button that, like, if I add a mesh to plane and then click a button, it just gives me a camera. Even better if that camera would position itself far enough away to fit the entire thing in frame, but that feels like a bit much. So yeah, so coming from the side needs to be about there. I mean, that's very messy, but it's messy because I've only done half of it. So... this one's different. This one, I need... Okay, this one I need... I don't really need to group this one necessarily, but I'm going to because it'll make it easier. And we will say... I mean... yeah, this is the easiest way, I think. Is going to be... this one is Z. I'm just going to go dun, 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 dun. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to put that in the middle. So, you are this one, you are this one. No, that's also wrong. God damn it. I do it every time. You are this one, you are this one. You are... Y. What have I changed that's wrong? Okay, yeah. Okay. You, are Y. Yay, it works. Nice. Okay, so let's go back in here, do this again. You are from Min, you are from Max, and you are from Venus. And you are X. Okay. Put you there. Put you there. Put you there. Make you smaller. So that way, it's just a matter of switching those, which I can also do automatically. So for that, it's... It's just this, right? As to which one it gives you? So let's oh, hang on. This group input, and that group input is this group input. Actually, let me drag this over. So I don't want it to be a vector. No, this isn't going to work. But I think the concept is fine. Okay. Ungroup. Yes. Okay. No, it is gonna work. It is right. Okay. No. No, that one was right already. God damn it. Ah, for a second I was doing okay. Alright, so if A is equal to 1, then yeah, make this, then that's true. Don't need those. If it's not 1, then if it's 2, this will be false. So that will make it X. No, that'll, yeah. Yeah, X is 3. So if that's 3, it's that. If it's 2, it's that. Right? I think that's correct. Okay, so let's do that. So if I set that. Whoa! That is not what I was going for. Oh, is that because it's on X? Oh, it is, okay. It works, it works. I am pleased. My switches work. Okay, great. So yeah, that will do what I need it to. To draw an image in from off screen. Which I think is kind of cool. Let's... How do I make this one neater? Hang on. Let's say you go there. Let's say you go... Oh, pardon me. There. You there. You there. Oops. Okay. You there and you. Oops. You there. You there. You there. Now, both of you actually can go away. You can go away, you can go away. Let's just call that a very generic output. Because there's only one output now, because they're all coming through the switches. Which is nice. Okay, let's just do these two as well. Okay, I want to bring these down a little bit just because it looks nicer. And to line these up because it looks nicer. And that person. Oh yeah, I uploaded another video and it also got shown in 2 feeds. So you know it's gone great. Sorry about for a second. Okay, anyway. Okay, sorry, I'm just doing things and getting distracted and I shouldn't. Okay. Actually, I'm going to leave those where they are. I really like that pattern, to be honest. It's really pretty. Okay. Coming out of that. Let's make this one prettier too. Put that there. Okay. This. Oh, hang on. I should really just do this. Don't need the extra one. No, that looks terrible. Okay. Bring that over. So yeah, that will give you... obviously it doesn't really work very well on this, but... yeah, because it'll need more setup with... because in here... is it here? No, the subtractions and such are set for X, or for Z rather, and they happen to work about the same for Y, it looks. Yeah, but they definitely don't work for X, because you can sort of see it starts and then chunks across. It looks like it's going in a diagonal, actually. Yeah, it definitely is. Hang on, let me... Have I got something wrong? No, X looks right. Odd. Because if I mess around with Y, it works as expected. Oh no, I know why. It's because X doesn't have anything. So it's basically arbitrary. Because like because this is taking the position, right? But because this is fully flat, to the point that you can't see it when you're looking at it directly on side, it doesn't have a position on X. Like the whole thing's position on X is the same. So yeah, that's why X is broken. So if this was, I imagine, if I, let me save first, if I rotate this 90, so now X is perpendicular. If I do that and set that to X, oh. Oh, I didn't apply rotation. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. So that's just because of my base rotation. So that is absolutely fine. So if I put this on... on that, or on... yeah. So it will work for X if your mesh has geometry on X, basically. So that works nicely. Okay, great. Draw in mesh from side, draw a mesh from off screen. Sure, that'll do. Okay, alright, let me just bring in a separate image. I need to find one that has a different resolution to see if my bounding box works. Okay, actually, let me get in here. Let me save first, in case I break anything. Add image as a mesh plane. Do I have anything that isn't just screenshot sized? Well, sure, that one's square. It's not interesting, but it's square. So if I give this a geonodes, give this draw mesh from off screen, it does. Oh, lovely. I'm so pleased with that. Okay. So that should work for any given image. That's very nice. I now feel like I haven't wasted all of my time today. What a lovely feeling. Okay. That's pretty sick, I think. Because I mean, you could always like push the subdivs and get it even finer. I like how it settles when the last few kind of arrive. Actually, what I should do actually is drooping books. I should just use this one here. This one to level. Oh no, it's bad because they're different heights. Okay. Hang on a second. Let's. Whoops. Re-hide that. And let's do this here. Actually, this is messy as all hell. Alright, I can get rid of that. Right? No. No, that's right. I need those two. Right. You are gone. You can stay. Put you here. You can come to here. Move you over here. And then I will move you up. But not quite that far. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. Yeah, so now we can just set that here. Because the effect is very different depending on how chunky it is. I think 6 is my favorite, maybe. Seven is cool because it looks like it kind of droops down a bit. 8 is less cool because it starts slowing my computer down. It's 6 or 7, I think. But it does need... Oh, excuse me. Oh. It still needs a little bit of futzing with this to get all of them, which is frustrating. Because now if I turn that down, it stops there. Yeah, that's frustrating. Yeah, because it's got 3 sticking up, but if I bring that down, it's got none. So if I set this to 7, was it 1.3? Nope. Minus 1 point. Oh my god. 0.3. Minus 1, 2, 4. Minus 1, 2, 5. Yeah, I think it's arbitrary. I mean, what I could do is add another one in slightly later and make this like 2.29 or something. Because that won't affect the earlier ones, but then if I put this to 7, it gets rid of the last bits. So maybe I'll just do that. Also, I really want that to start. I mean, just at 0. Why is it not starting at 0? Hang on. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. God damn it, what am I doing? No, I don't think it's actually worth that. Because I don't really want that. Is it better if it starts with that dramatic drop at the first? It doesn't feel like it is. Sorry, conversation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the last 4. 23. Okay, anyway, sorry. Okay. Because they move down instantly, which I do want, I like that they shoot down quickly. Because the effect works. Because in this, the entire bottom is black. So I'm tempted to just say bring the entire bottom row down. But if I do that and an image isn't fully black, I mean, maybe I should. I don't know. What do we think? Is that better? I don't think that's better. Because it only really starts looking good once that first row is already down. Okay. I can make that an option. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So... what do I want to do? Okay. So if position on Z is ungroup. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Position on Z is equal to minimum on Z. Okay, hang on. Let me just see that. Oh, pardon me. Okay. Actually, it doesn't need to be subdived. If that is equal... Oh, I've done this thing again. I didn't do separate, I did combine. Separate x, y, z. Z. That explains why it wasn't working. I used the wrong node. I always do that. It's because I use combine so much. Okay, so now if I plug this one in, do we still get... Right, because I use max. If I use min... Oh, why is the epsilon that? That's ridiculous. Oh, I drove the wrong one. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so all of that can go. I just need that one. So I want... if the bounding box... Now, if I plug this in here, it is the same. Okay. But I bet it won't be, because at this point it doesn't have the vertices. Oh, maybe. No, let's check. Or. Let's throw this in as an OR. Turn that off. So at the very, very start... Ow. God. My body is miserable. Oops, wrong. Okay, let me see this. There's still that massive gap, which is really frustrating. And that's not affected by this, is it? No. I mean, something is happening in this section, but I think it's because a lot of this is to get to that starting point. Much like at the end, the last little section is super slow. But that's because it's the extreme of the height on Z. So it does make sense. So, where do we get to? To, like, here. Is that the same on Y? If I set this to Y... Yeah, it is. The first, like, 30 frames-ish? Barely even actually enter the picture. So if I go to 30 frames, you can see from where the gaps are, it's only actually done that much. And most of that was started already. Okay, so... say 30 frames. Let's just keyframe that. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, why is this not here? Really? We're playing that shit? Okay, fine. Okay, so let's... I mean, really, this should be, what, here-ish? Or even further, maybe? I think that's better. Actually, let me turn on the passepartout for this camera. Or turn it up. Yeah, I like that. I mean, it looks kind of messy because of the thing at the start. I don't really love that. So let me... If I swap it over to this version, where it automatically takes the first section... It is better as long as the image has a plain background. Because if it doesn't, that's going to be a mess. Like if... hang on, let me... Oh, pardon me again. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this one was a meme that I made for a friend. Okay, so let's... Really? Really? You do nothing? Hang on. Oh, it's because you have rotations. God damn. Okay. Okay, so... Oh, actually, it's kind of cool. Oh. All of my talk about how I didn't actually like it, it turns out I do. Yeah. Okay, I do much prefer it when it starts with the bottom already filled, actually. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I really like that. Okay. I don't know what else I need to do with this, to be honest. Yeah, so when it's on Y, it does need to be bigger. But again, that will, well, it depends on the aspect ratio, right? Because I can get that. Okay. I can do that. That's not difficult. Let me just... Because that's this. And one works for X. I mean, again, in this specific situation, because... Oops. Because the camera is basically because the camera is set up to be close enough to 1:1 scale. Like, there's a little bit of crossover, but you can't see it with the pass by 2. But there's a little tiny bit of crossover. Like, the image isn't perfectly in there, but it's pretty close. So what do we need? We need I mean, it's and wait, this one. Oh, what? Right, no, I have to get the min and the max first. Okay, hang on. So if I do... I'm so lost already. Subtract the min from the max. Gives us that. No, this is not doing what I want it to. Oh, I haven't plugged a bounding box into anything? Oh my god. Okay. So if I take that and that, move them over, and actually no, and I just what I need to do? I need to hang on, let me, if I just duplicate that, that's not a new node group, is it? No, it's the same one. Okay, make this new. So this is node group 2, and this is node group 1. Okay, good. Now I can mess with it without messing with the other node groups. So we have our input geometry. And what do we require at the end of it? Oh, hang on, let me think. Okay. We take... Oh, my brain is dying. No. Let me just come in here. Okay, we have the bounding box already. So for this one, what do we need to do? Oh, pardon me. Get rid of that. We don't need that. Okay. If it is 1, it's Z, so then we subtract that. No, we need to do this bitty. We need to subtract the min from the max. That's correct, yes? Hang on. Yes. And then we put that into 1 separate. We don't need the second one. And the switch is going into... This is... Okay. Y and Z is if it's on... Y, right? Yes. Because it doesn't matter what X is if it's looking at it from the position of X. Yes, okay. So then we want... move those over some more. Yeah, so Y and Z if it's in position of Z, if we're looking at it from X. So if we're looking at it from Y, hang on. So it's moving on this, it's moving on this. So if we're looking at it from Y, it'll be moving on X. So we want Z and X. If it's false, no, I'm doing this wrong. Yeah, I'm doing this wrong. I don't even need this. I don't even need this. Honestly. Let's just do that. I do not need this. And I'm rapidly getting very tired because it's been a fucking day. Okay, let's just move that over. Let's finish making this bit prettier. Okay. Bring that up some, bring that across some, bring this across some, bring this across some. I mean, that's probably the best I can do, I think. I can move that over to align that better. Yeah, I think that's probably the best I can do. Okay, let's look at this fancy animation one more time. And, I might call it for the day. Because it's been a wreck. But this has been fun. And I accomplished something. So that's nice. Yeah. I like it. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Just in case anyone watches this at some point, I want to... actually, I'm not going to do that. No, that's a bit silly. Okay, I was going to show my YouTube shorts, but I'm not going to. But I'll put one in the link just in case anyone wants to click it later. There's one of them. There's 3 or 4 more that no one has ever seen, so feel free to have a poke. And yeah, thank you for coming. We achieved something. That's nice. And yes. I'll do some more later. This didn't take quite as long as I thought it might. But, you know, it has some potential. Could be useful. So yeah, I will see you next time. Thank you very much for coming. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.